All right, hello everybody. Welcome on in. I am the Pied Piper, and I am starting stream an hour and a half late because we thought, because we scheduled a meeting for 4:30. What got first? Hello, what? Because it was scheduled for 4:30 for an hour and a half, and that's so funny. Sorry, I'm turning this down a little bit. It's a little loud for me too. Anyways, it was supposed to take 30 minutes. That's what it was scheduled for. Like, we got calendar invited Microsoft, and they were like, and this was with some people out in the East Coast. So we had to do it like later in our day to like make it reasonable for them. And it was way better. This was originally scheduled for like 9 p.m. Well, it was originally scheduled for 3 like a week ago. And then there was like a mess up with Microsoft Teams, good old Microsoft Teams. So we never received that notification and we couldn't join the meeting. So then we were like, all right, we'll do it next week. And they were also, I kind of messed with the mic a lot. So let me know how it sounds. If like you're wearing headphones and you hear it in both, that'd be great to know. Because I changed some settings in my computer and this to help like get it so I can put it at the level I want, which is like a negative like 10, like negative between -6 and -10. It is coming through both. Awesome, thank you, Web. You're gonna lurk for about 15 while I finish. All right, sounds good, much appreciated. Nice use of the lurk emote. That's probably the emote that I might be the most proud about, is this one right here, because I took an emote that I had already purchased, and then I actually was like, I think that this would be a great lurk animate emote, so then I animated it myself, which wasn't too difficult, but it was definitely tricky because I had to like isolate layers and create different layers and then do a frame in which it looked smooth, and I think it came out pretty good. But yeah, crazy enough, oh yeah, and then this is broken. Yeah, I did dumb stuff. Source not streams, I know that. How do I adjust that? It's wild how many like things I accidentally broke messing with this, because I tried to fix something else and it did not work, wildly enough. Because it turns out that when I upgrade to Microsoft or Windows 11, wow, it really won't let me change this. Source not streams. Oh, what if we do this? Now will you let me change it? Wow. No, it like will only let me do it with the one source. So I was like messing around with OBS because I thought it'd be an OBS problem. Turns out it was a it's really annoying. It like has a setting button that won't open. It turns out that it was a Windows 11 issue, so that was fun to do. Trying to fix this closed captioning. Because, yeah, I have it set so that my mic is mic 1. But then, for whatever reason, it's like, no, mic 1 still exists, so we've made this mic 1 2. And it's like, what? What are we doing? That's not what I wanted. And yeah, so now we're like stuck like this, where now it doesn't want to work. And I can't figure out how to get rid of, maybe if I do this. Unhide all. No, like mic 1 just doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. It thinks it exists somewhere. I can't find it. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild. Advanced audio properties, yeah, like it literally just doesn't exist. What if I do this? Oh. I have too many sources for this to work. Oh, there we go. Hold on, I might be able to fix this. Here it is, inactive. How do I just delete it? I see you. I have no idea. I have no idea. I can't rename it either. Very annoying. I wonder if I do this. Actually, hold on. I got a really good idea. I'm gonna add an audio input capture of mic aux. And then... Oh. Huh. Alright. Can you still hear me? Mike Hawks? Yeah. Mike Ox. Can you still hear me? Because I think I got this figured out. That's really dumb. Yeah, you're still audible. Awesome. This is dumb. This was dumb. Okay. Right now, let's put a limiter on this one. Perfect. Okay. That was dumb. But we fixed it. Now we gotta fix Steam Deck. Sorry for the delay. I'm like delayed and then also everything's messed up. How ridiculous. Also, yeah, somehow you can have your mic set to 2 sources, but show only one? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So, who knows? I'm gonna have to fix some of this later, but I just want to fix the stuff that I might use today. Okay. That is incredibly dumb. Yeah, Allison, hello. But anyways, yeah, sorry for being late. Thank you guys for still showing up, even though I'm late. I know we're still in it. The plan is still to stream about 2 hours. I ate in the meantime on my way home. But I do have to do some stuff because we're doing a potluck tomorrow. And I have to get up early for an early meeting. So, we'll see. Unfortunately, like, the weird thing with, like, this meeting that I did today, there were the settings. I could have fixed it. I just didn't realize where the settings a different way. There are multiple ways to fix your problems. And I always choose the hardest one. So we'll see. But, you know, we're going for more peanut butter. We're going for more peanut butter. We're playing... For those who don't know, this is the game I'll be streaming at GDQ on January... What day? Thursday. This is why we have commands early for us for January 9th. We're going to be streaming this category specifically. This category, when I started streaming, it was at like 22 minutes. It's now at sub 19, which is crazy. And our current PB is 20:03. And we're going for, right now, we're really aiming for like a 19:45. So that's our overall goal. That's our end goal, but that's our current goal, you know? Incremental progress is what we aim for. Because I will have to, I think it's more than accomplishable according to this. I can get 1654 if I just like put God Gamer mode on. We don't know if that's ever gonna happen, you know, we'd love to see it. But we'll see. Man, I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, I haven't played this game since last week. Which is abnormal for me. I usually play this pretty consistently. I have it on my Steam Deck. So I play that a lot. Oh god. I'm dying. I'm all over the place. My brain's like fried from like trying to like get so much accomplished in a day. You know? And I still didn't get everything I wanted to accomplish. And there's still more stuff to do after this. But, you know, it's a fun time. But without further ado, guys, let's just start speedrunning. Let's just talk, speedrun, and do things. I do have my notepad up for those who not enough time in the day. Honestly, Allison, these last few weeks, I 100% feel that way. And it's like, so, I'll disclose this. I think it's been disclosed. So, in the Navy, how's the Village People song go? I jumped a bunch of extra, which slowed me down, but, you know, swag. There is a rank known as Chief Petty Officer, and in the Navy, and only in the Navy, does the rank of, or does the pay grade of E7 carry with it extra titles. And the Navy is a very special branch of the United States military, because it is, a branch in which you probably, there's no, like, that's not my job in the Navy. Because here's the thing, right? What's different about us than other people is that we are on a giant hunk of metal that has a lot of electricity and a lot of engines and a lot of ammunition on it. of various types. And you're out there naked and afraid by yourself, you know, like there is no help. You have to be fully self-reliant. But what else comes with that, right? You have to be self-reliant, but you also are limited on space because you need to have to place, you know, food, and you have to, and that's the other thing that limits you, right? So you have this giant hunk of metal, and you're limited on how many people can live on it for various reasons. That was a little slow, but I made a safety jump there. So what ends up happening is you have a bunch of people that do a lot of jobs that aren't traditionally what you would think would be theirs. So for example, I'm an IT. So you guys are like, oh, ITs, they work on computers. You are right. That is, quote unquote, my primary function, right? To work on computers, help desk management, but also in Navy, we do all things involving like IP in general. So we also do like radio communications and some other things like that. And so the other thing though is like you also are now going to be cleaning, washing dishes, or handling line, which is rope for you you landlubbers, or, you know, putting out fires, because, you know, nobody else is gonna do it. You can't call the fire department. So it's like that doesn't happen in like the Air Force and the Marine Corps, really. And with that as well, because there is so much they have to do, and I missed a button. Wow, I just fully, this is why we're doing practice runs. So your job has turned into everything in the kitchen sink. Literally, actually, like literally, yes. I've washed tons of dishes on a ship. I have fought fires. I have brought ships in. I have fired plenty of guns. I have, you know, I have helped fix things that weren't mine, you know. There is a lot that you do, because if you're not going to do it, who else is? And so, with that, one of the things that also happens is, if you guys don't know this, the US government actually doesn't hate socialism. They actually think that it's so good that it should be used as a reward system. So you guys might remember in high school, right, when like kids were trying to figure out what they were gonna do with their life, and a lot of people chose, or maybe, you know, your experience is different. For like Weapon-B, actually, I think it was pretty rare. And the Navy was super rare of a choice because we grew up in Colorado. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's no oceans near Colorado. So like to put into perspective, like how uncommon the Navy is in Colorado, when I joined, I got to do a option. This wasn't even on my list. I got to do an optional tour known as Recruiter Assistance Program, and my job is between what's known as A School or Technical Training School, which is like where they teach you to do your basic job. So it's after boot camp. So you go through boot camp, and boot camp's job is to train you to be a sailor. Or whatever yours is, you know, a Marine, a soldier, whatever, right? And ours, right, a sailor. And then you go, and then hopefully you didn't go to PAC, which is apprenticeship. If you go apprenticeship PAC, you'll go straight to a ship, a air wing, or that's really it. And then you'll, quote unquote, after 2 years of doing one of the worst jobs in the Navy and not being authorized to advance to a non-commissioned officer, you will then be able to go to A School, maybe. But most people nowadays, I would say, get you choose what's their rate, which is your job. You might also hear terms like MOS and other branches. In the Navy, it's called a rate, or a rating, actually. Nice. PB on that time. And so, oh, that's crappy. And so after A School, after my technical training, I went to Recruiter Assistance Program. And the goal of Recruiter Assistance Program is that you go and you help recruiters, right? So usually what people do is you go to your recruiting station of record, right? So that's the one that you recruited out of. And you go and, you know, maybe your recruiter's still there. In my case, he was not. Instead, it was another guy. You go there and you'll do usually like 3 things. You'll go and you will go to high schools. And you'll be like, hey, I just went through all this. And usually you'll go to your high school specifically. And then you'll preside some sort of recruitment brief to 1 or 2 or 3 of your classes. And what ends up happening is that the recruiters, what they do is they ask you to pull in favors. So like for me, I was really good friends with Miss G and Mrs. we'll just call her Miss N, who were our integrated teachers, which taught writing and history. And so I had hit them up and was like, hey, this has been a really good experience for me. Could I come in with the recruiters and talk to the class about this opportunity? And so you do this for like a week. And so we were in my high school and we were heading down, I think it's B Wing Wept, where the science and math classes were. And I don't know, we always had students who had like open blocks, and like I was one of those students who would like chill out D Wing. Maybe it was D Wing. I feel like, yeah. Oh, I guess B was like art, right? I think somebody had a course down there. Was Chem down there for some odd reason? Like it was the only non-art class. C was arts? Man, I don't remember. Did B Wing not exist? That's a bad. B Wing was cafeteria. Yeah, I have no idea. It's been a long time. C Wing had chem. So okay, so it was C Wing, yeah. So we were walking down to C Wing, me and one of the recruiters, and we were in our dress uniforms. And there was some kids just hanging out in the hallway. I don't know. It's just in the brain, you know? So these like, and like we had the Marines come in from time to time because they'd always do the pull-up bar, like they bring that into school, but it's rare for other branches to come in. I don't really know why. It's especially weird not to see the Air Force in Colorado because we have the Air Force Academy down in Colorado Springs, but like we grew up pretty far north, so there was like we were pretty far away from the Springs, and their reach isn't that big. And something bad memory, something still live in town, you and shit. I mean, it's mostly still in my brain, more or less. These 2 girls, like freshmen, sophomores, whatever, they were like, are you guys Marines? And we were like, no, we're sailors, we're in the Navy. And she went, and I shit you not, she went, we still have one of those? So that's how much like Colorado's education is on the United States Navy goes. Like that you have high school students who are like going to be of voting age in like 2 to 3 years who don't even know that the US Navy exists, you know? I'm gonna be honest, they probably were from the other county I did this badly, but that's fine. We did it safely. We did it okay. Because that's all the farmers in Hicks. But I mean, they still went to my high school, so it doesn't say much. But yeah, so anyways, oh my goodness. What was I talking about? Why did I start this whole thing? Oh yeah, so I don't even know why. I was gonna talk about Chiefs for some reason. Oh, I remember. Oh my god, I keep over jumping there. Horrible. This is why we practice, ladies and gents. So anyways, because like Chief is like a special thing and special in the Navy because like you do have all these other jobs. Chiefs are the ones who like help like drive ships. Like we joke that like at like a minor level, like Chiefs are the middle management in the United States Navy, and that's like true in a sense. Oh god, I had a chance to save so much time there and then we did crazy stuff. We had lots of guys enlist in the army, mainly because there wasn't anything to do here. Yeah, that's fair. I just like... Yeah, I also do think that the stigma that was like kind of annoying in our hometown. Hello, welcome back. Because I definitely feel that the stigma was that people only would join the military because they had no other options. And which always feels bad. Like, oh, they got bad grades or they were dumb. And as far as I know, there was only me and one other kid that I knew. Zach wept for your like essay of who I'm talking about. And Zach was a nuke in the Navy, which is the hardest job to get. We pay them, they are so hard to train and come by that we pay them $120,000 re-enlistment bonuses to give the Navy 6 more years. Like, yeah, he was a brass player, I believe, of some sort. We're going old method on this one just because I think, or maybe it's just in drama. He was definitely in drama because he was in Madrigal for sure. So like, right, like you had me, who I feel like wasn't a complete waste of a human life, you know? And I was graduating high school a year early, so like I had something going for me, you know? I wasn't a total idiot. And then you had Zach, who was like doing one of the hardest jobs and like took the attrition rate for nuclear schooling. You're called a nuke because you're a nuclear electrician, or you're a nuclear engineer operating a nuclear plant on a United States naval carrier or submarine. Like, you are literally preventing a nuclear reactor from blowing up while out to sea. And like, you're like, oh, how bad does that happen? Well, for record, the US has never had it happen, which we are very proud of. Russia's had it happen, I believe, twice. And I think somebody else has had it happen to them as well. He was a choir kid, yeah. I knew he has something in music. I just could not remember. So pretty like challenging thing, and like smart enough kid, and like involved enough in school that could have like, and like we were in a well enough neighborhood that like I'm sure like that was an option, but this is what he wanted to do. And so and like also, yeah, so just to go back, like this is why I'm talking about when it's like the US government believes in socialism in the sense that it wants to use it as a reward, because the entire government runs on a socialist system where it's like you get socialized healthcare, socialized education, you get so it's like, and those are the benefits. It's like, come join the military because we'll give you oops 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 because we'll give you these benefits. And it's like, right, so it's like, it's hard to say, oh god, like that we should, like, I'm fully supporting socialism, by the way, and these opinions are mine and mine alone and not of my employer. You know, gotta disclose that. But it's like, right, it's hard to say that like the US government will approve universal education, which I think would be a great thing, except that it takes away the primary benefit in why people join the United States military. So they're like, oh no, recruitment's already down, we can't make these other things. People really complain because basically California has socialized education. People are like, yeah, we can't get the kids out of California anymore because they just go to college and smoke weed for 2 years, and we can't offer them that same thing. And it's like, yeah, I guess, man. But yeah, so anyways, enough hours in the day. So we go through like initiation, which like one of the things that teaches you is like, hey man, there's not enough hours in the day, and that you're gonna have like an insurmountable amount of tasks. And what you need to do with those tasks is learn how to prioritize, learn that some shit you're just going to drop, and learn that you need to like communicate, set deadlines, and those are the big things about it, right? So lessons learned. And so it's like, right, because in real life you're gonna have a bunch of shit and you're gonna have 12 people telling you, you know, something's due and that you gotta do it, and it's like right, so we do it in a controlled environment, you know, where it's like the consequences are us being disappointed in you, you yelling and maybe some type of exercise, you know, like, not too bad. Meanwhile, it's like in real life, it's like maybe the ship doesn't get underway, or maybe some sailor misses an advancement opportunity, or even worse, maybe some sailor dies because you weren't paying attention and you missed something, or maybe some sailor gets paid fucked up, or they have something, right? So we have to, like, you know, try and teach you these things, right? And the thing that we tell people all the time is, like, being a chief's hard. And it's because what happens consistently once you're in this rank is that there's just not enough hours in the day to accomplish everything. And like, it was funny, right? Like, we had kids that were like complaining that like there wasn't enough to do or something, and I was like, all right, bet. Or they were like, I feel like we're always like running the clock and not the tasks. I'm like, if you want me to put every single task that you have to do that is being tracked that we could do, you would never finish it, right? So it's like, we're gonna give you these things and we're going to get you to work on them enough. Oh my god, that's one of the worst deaths I can take on this level. And I already missed a shortcut like 3 times now, which is unfortunate for sure. But this guy, I guess, went through season last year, or maybe I think last year or most recently, and initiation's supposed to be like pretty shush. Like, if you Google it and you seek it out enough, like, you can find the information. Like, we live in the 21st century. But it's supposed to be one of those experiences to see how you react in the unknown, because that's what leadership is a lot, you know, is like, you don't know, like, you can only prepare for what you can like predict, you know, and we're going to try and share you those experiences and stuff. But we really want you to we want you to have those opportunities that we've all had happen to us and be able to experience them. And this guy posted on Reddit, and he was just like, it's so much worse, and like, I don't understand, like, in season they give you this insurmountable amount of tasks, and now I'm like actually doing my job and I have this unsurmountable amount of tasks and I just don't know what to do with it. It's like, well, clearly you didn't learn the lesson. And like, a bunch of people end up like mentoring the guy, and the post got deleted on Reddit, which was a good thing, because it shouldn't have been posted there in the first place. But it's like, clearly you didn't clearly you didn't learn how to prioritize. Maybe you don't know your job well enough. Maybe you don't know how to say no. Maybe you don't know how to say no, but, which is like one of the best things you can learn in life. Like, no, I can't do that right now, but I can do that next week. Or no, we can't do that because, is the other really good one, because it's dumb, you know? But you gotta be smart and be like, this is not worth our time or whatever, right? You're supposed to learn those things. Or you learn, no, I can't do them, but, you know, Felipe over there can, you know what I mean? Like, and this guy was just like going off about like how his life was so hard and there's just not enough time in the day, and how his entire like social life is dead because he's just doing this full time. And it's like, I get it, man, I really do. Like, I promise you, I get it. It is stressful, it is anxiety inducing. The paycheck does not equate the work. When you think, oh my god, that's a bad death. When you think about what your paycheck was before this and the amount of work that you're doing then, compared to now, like, and the other thing, you guys know that meme? I think it's like, it's the, like, I think it's from like a Nintendo thing or like a Pokemon Center thing. It's like, this one sparks joy and this one does not. And it's like, unfortunately, like, you have to find the things in life that spark joy, but we will always be forced to do the things that don't spark joy, you know. Or sometimes, you know, you can call it Peter principle a little bit, but like, you'll get advanced to a stage where you're no longer doing things that you find enjoyable but are necessary. And that's like, that's a harsh reality, man, like, to be honest, because that's also the harsh reality of the Peter principle, is that we live in a society that, well, one, we live in a society, two, but we live in a society that the only reward for good people doing a good job is a promotion to a different type of job. I mean, it's like, I don't know if that's a great system. I mean, because you guys take your best working people who know the most and you move them, and they might be shitty leaders. And that's what the Peter principle is, for those who are unfamiliar with it. It's just that you will eventually be promoted to, because you'll keep getting promoted if you're good at whatever you're doing, so eventually you'll stop getting promoted, and it'll be finally when you're bad at something, right? And so you see this all the time, and it's largely because, like, right, you got a name for the next next rank, the next promotion, the next thing, and it's like you're gonna go from a top technician or whatever now to a manager, and at some point or some level of management, and you might be just a horrible people person, or you know, or like you take coders, you know. And I think like, and then the other thing is, and I see this a lot like in my job, and like I don't know if it's a tech thing, but people, and I mean maybe because I saw my dad bitch about it when he was in IT. Well, he's still in IT, but when he was working for a different company, which was like hiring people who might have the managerial skills but don't have the technical skills. And I know in like jobs like mine, they're considered highly technical. If you aren't a technical expert, most of your subordinates will literally just eat you alive. And I mean literally. No, I'm just kidding. Figuratively, they'll eat you alive. But it's like, it's concerning, right? So it's like, I don't know what the answer is. You know, one of the answers, like when I first learned about it, was that people were talking about like, great, we need to have other rewards. You know, I think some companies do well and some jobs do better than others, where they have like quote unquote like levels or seniors, you know, where it's like, okay, you can get promoted and now, right, you do the same job, but now it's like plumbers, right? Like a plumber, you're gonna pay more to spend less time in your house because you're paying for the expertise. That's kind of like the idea or mindset that you should have in your company, you know, if you have that mindset or that ability, you know, where it's like, you know, this person's been here a long time, you should reward their loyalty, or they're really good at their job, so you should put them in like a senior position, you know what I mean? Where maybe they're not in management, but now they're able to be paid more. Maybe they get trusted more, you know, maybe they get like a little bit more challenge, because that's the other thing, you want to be challenged in your job, right? I don't think anybody wants their job to be easy, but I also don't think we want it to be like a shitty challenge every day. You know, you gotta find like the happy medium somewhere, and that's like the hard part, right? Hey, sub 140, that's what we're aiming for. That's really good. Nice. Well, that's not bad, man. Our goal is under estimate, which, what I say estimate was 25 minutes. So that's pretty good. I didn't pay attention that entire run. I was just talking to you guys about Peter Principle, and so we take it. We take those, and we're just gonna run it back, right back. We're just gonna run it right back. It's still good. It's still good. It's not bad. We take those, you know. But yeah, I don't know. That's like any. Oh, this isn't what I wanted. That was a bad start. But oh god. But yeah, Allison, 100%, right? There's just not enough time in the day. There's not, right? Like, you hit a certain point, and it's just like, right now, oh yeah, and that was the thing, like, my guys were like, you know, it's, and one guy did it really well, and he was like, I'm like, here's some taskers I have for you. There was one tasker that I've had ready for them for like, I don't know, 6, 7, oh my god, maybe longer than that, like 8 months. I've been like, hey, this needs to happen. And I understand that this project's going to take a year to do, and it's going to require a lot of man hours, but it's something that needs to happen, and it's going to like better like us, the company, the equipment, you know. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to give this to them with the 10 other things, you know. It's like your job as a leader to help prioritize. That's the thing that like we do climate surveys, right? Quote unquote culture surveys, whatever you want to call them, right? And one of the things I've heard throughout is like, if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. But I hear that at the dumbest levels. Like, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, a leader's job is to prioritize and execute, right? And so it's like, you need to prioritize, and you don't need to just prioritize for yourself. You need to prioritize for your guys, right? Because like you'll have the junior B, right? The like guy, the worker B, you know, working, and you know, you need to tell him or her like, this is your task, you know, and that is their task. You know, you can only, you know, that you can only give them one thing. They can only move one square at a time, and sometimes diagonally, you know what I mean? And then you got like your other guys, and you know that you can give them multiple, or maybe they're in charge of the worker bee, so you gotta give them 10 things, and they have 10 worker bees, or maybe they have 8. Right? Or maybe they have 5 and you give each one 2, and then they gotta choose between that. That way they have the illusion of choice, You know what I mean? Or, you know, but like you're not going to give them at a certain level, somebody's getting all 50 tasks for every single person and some more, you know what I mean? And there's always stuff to be done, you know, and there's always things to improve, and it's like that never ends. So you really got to sit there and be like, you know. And the analogy that I like the most, I've told dozens of hundreds of people that I got bestowed upon me, that I think was really good, was that like your tasks, you're juggling them, right? You are physically juggling these tasks, right? Well, I guess you're figuratively juggling all these tasks, right? So like imagine you're juggling, right? And all these tasks, right? They all are clear balls, right? You're just juggling clear balls. And, you know, maybe you're juggling one thing, maybe you're juggling two things, but it's like, that's just for work, right? You're also juggling personal life, you're juggling work, you're juggling whatever else, right? And only through experience can you start to tell which ones are actually glass and which ones are like hard plastic, right? Because some of the ones that are glass, you know what you can't do with those? You can't drop that shit. And so like throughout life, as you gain, you know, knowledge and experience and everything else, you'll start to realize the tasks that you can't drop, right? And that's gonna be like personal care. Like that's something that you shouldn't drop, because if you do, it's gonna suck, right? Those cracks start happening. It's gonna be bad, right? Or it's going to be, you know, something with your family, you know, and you're going to learn and deal with like what's unique and special to you. And then some things you can drop, right? And the biggest thing though is like what people don't do is that they start getting tired and they just keep juggling. The worst thing that happens when you're like tired and you just keep juggling all this shit is you're going to get tired, and eventually you're just not going to be able to go any longer, right? And that's what like burnout is, right? Is like where you've now literally your arms are so tired that they can't juggle anything, and you can't keep them up, and when you try and like pick them up, you're just tired and you can't keep the juggle going, and it doesn't look good, and you used to know that you could juggle all these, and you know you can juggle 10 things, but your arms are tired and you haven't given them time to rest, and you're just trying to pick up all the shit that you just dropped. Meanwhile, if you stop before then and you ask somebody, hey man, can you juggle a few of these balls for me? Or even better yet, you find out the ones that can be dropped, these plastic ones that, hey, maybe they're important, but they're not the most important thing, you know? And then you communicate, hey everybody, I'm dropping this ball because I'm tired. I can't handle this. This is too much shit. And all this other shit's taking priority. I'll pick it up in 2 weeks. I'll pick it up in a month. I will, you know, or I'll wait till Dave gets back from vacation and then he gets it, you know? And you move on, you know, and it's good for you. And I just think that's a really good analogy. I think it works well. I think it's important in life. And I struggle with it. I 100% struggle with it. It's like my biggest thing is one of my favorite books actually that like kind of, this is on my topics of things to talk about. I don't even know how I really got onto this. I guess it was because I was late. But one of my favorite books to read, and it's a really hard book, and I highly recommend it. It is Man's Search for Meaning. It's written by Viktor Frankl. So some background on Viktor Frankl. He was a Jewish, Austrian, I believe, Jew in the 1930s. And if you're picking up on what I'm putting down, he got picked up. Right, so you have this guy who is practicing psychology, has a doctorate in psychology, and because of his race and his religion, he was picked up by the Nazis in the 30s. And sorry guys, this is a sensitive topic, and I'm not, you know, we're a plus 18 stream, and this is why the server is plus 18, so we can have real discussions. So, because I don't want some edgelord 16-year-old making some dumbass Nazi joke, because that's all the rage right now, you know what I mean? So he gets picked up as a psychologist, and just imagine the like amount of fear and rage and everything else that you might fear in this moment of like you being picked up and put onto a train and then being transported to Auschwitz, right? At the time, and now imagine that you have a psychology, that you have a doctorate in psychology, so you know exactly what you're physically going through, what you're mentally going through, you know what the brain is doing, and you have to just sit there and experience it, no longer from like the comfort of a chair of like, you know, providing psych, but actually first person, right? And so he wrote this book called Man's Search for Meaning. And what it's about is his first-hand experience. It's like 97 pages. So it should be a quick read. It's like 97 pages at like size 14 font. So it should be an easy read. And it took me like, and I could read 100 pages in an hour, guys, like no problem. And it took me probably 3 days to read, because I could not get past the first 30 pages like in one sitting, because it's not like brutal or gruesome. It is just like disheartening, and it is hopeless, it feels, because this man explains, you know, his circumstance. And it's really fascinating when you're talking about like this guy going through this, right? And you can tell in his tone of speech throughout the writing how like that changed. I missed that, man. That's 2 islands I've messed up. If I don't say anything, because I'm just gonna let them do everything, they'll never know. And the biggest thing, though, that he talks about, why I'm bringing this up, is that he survived and out-survived many people who were going through the same thing, because what I always called it pre this book, and I still use this, is called adjusting your scope, right? And imagine your life. Nice PB on that. Imagine, right, you're looking at your life from a like microscope, right? And this microscope has, you know, 3 lenses on it, and sorry, I should focus there. And right, you get to choose which lens you're, oh shit, dude, which lens you're going to use, right? And so either you're going to be like up close, you know, or you're going to be further away, right? And so you got to adjust your lens, and right, and you do this in life, right? So like if you zoom out far enough in your life right now, right, we are nothing but specks of dust in an endless time and space in which nothing we do will ever matter, right? And if you look at life from that lens, right, you're gonna have a bad time. I'm gonna be honest, you're gonna have a bad time. Is it true? Sure, right? And is it real? Sure. And this is where like pessimism and optimism and realism come into play, right? And yeah, sure, that's a real thing. I won't argue with you that that is 100% a fact of life, right? We are just specks in the dust in an endless, in a solar system, inside a galaxy, you know, that like, and you know, what you do, there are thousands and millions of people that have died before us that we don't know, and there will be millions of people who die after us that we don't know. And if you think of life like that, it's gonna suck, period, right? So what do you do, right? You zoom the fuck in, dude. You zoom the fuck in, right? You find something to latch onto to make it worthwhile, you know? And, you know, and it's easier, right? And shit got deep. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just on a rant. I'm on one of my mini rants. This is on the Pied Piper's, like, fucking 8, what's the thing, tape deck, like cassette player, like set. Oops, I got distracted. I practiced this level too much that I like messed up normal strat. It was unfortunate because we were actually on PB pace up until that death, for, you know, all of 3 levels. But right, you zoom the fuck in, right? So it's like, you look at Viktor Frankl, right? You look at this guy, right? And if he zoomed out, right, he is probably gonna die. You know, he thought. He is making railroad spikes in the cold of winter. And what are these railroad spikes for? They're for a track. And what's that track gonna do? It's gonna transport more of his people to this camp, right? And if he zooms out every day while in this horrible place, he's gonna stop. He's gonna be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to live. It's gonna make his life harder because of the guards, right? And he stays zoomed out where he's like, you know, nothing I do matters, or everything I do is going to show a worse cause. But in that situation, you know, he didn't have a choice. You know, it was honestly that or die. This is really bad. Okay, we're all right. So his whole book, as I've kind of like put into terms, is to, right, find that purpose. So he woke up every day basically just being like, I'm gonna make the best railroad spike I can. And if he did, and it was a good railroad spike, or he accomplished something that day, he at least went to bed feeling accomplished, you know? And that's what matters, right? Is like, did you go, for me, I don't know. I think I have a really bad habit of applying my thought process to everybody's. I have a bad habit of thinking that because I can do something, anybody can. And, you know, that's just not true, because we're all different, you know? And that's just the way it is. You know, I do think that there are plenty of things, but it takes time and effort, you know, and, you know, it's going to be harder for some other people. And it's not like I'm not sitting there and being like, I'm great. There's so much that other people can do that I'll never be able to do, you know, and that's just the matter of life. But yeah, you got to zoom out and find that purpose, you know, and as you like move up and you're Peter principled or whatever it is, you know, you got to find the thing that you latch onto and is going to make that day accomplishable, you know, and hold on to those and find it, you know, find the thing that sparks joy. It'll be good. Like, so anyways, Allison, that was all to say, yeah, I agree. There's not enough hours of the day. There's too much shit to do. And, yeah, that's, I have realized I am long-winded. I realize that, accomplishment is a weird thing. Yeah? In what way? I can't give like a basic answer to shit. I think context is the most important thing in the world. And it's like, right, and the people who don't are anti-CRT, don't think that context, and context is one of the most important things when it comes to anything. It's what makes humor funny. It's what makes things make sense. If you do everything in a vacuum, it's just not gonna make sense, man. You know what I mean? Shit. I panicked because I really needed this. Not horrible, not horrible. Oh man. Oh. Yeah, I was at Onyx's wedding. And it was an interesting experience because it was in their new town. And that town is, or city, is where they met their current wife. And where a lot of their family, their wife's family is. And not where a lot of Onyx's family is. And, yeah, anti-cathode ray tubes, yeah. They're pro-plasma TVs. It doesn't even make sense. LED's so much better. And I started off where I was like, all right, I'll tell some stories, you know. I forgot what I was doing. I'm dumb. I just need to go. And then I was going to wait. And then I was like, no, don't wait. Tell me go. And then I remembered I was supposed to wait because I forced this up right here. And I just started it where it's like, hi all. Most of you don't know me, but I am extremely long-winded. Because like I wanted one point, but I should like provide all the context, you know. And it's a more fun story when you provide all the context, you know, or it's more humorous. No, we lost PB all because of my stupidity. No, oh man, dude, that was our sub 20 run, and I messed it up. It gets touted a lot as an important thing, and folks chase it, but for me, it doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, that's weird. But I think that's a problem, is like people, it depends on what you're trying to achieve, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. You gotta find, there should be something in your life that sparks joy, right? And I think like, right, that is associated with achievement. It's not like, oh, I, you know, did this, or I accomplished this, or this. It's I accomplished this task, you know. Maybe achievement was a bad word, but, or I think I said accomplishment. Maybe I said achievement. I meant accomplishment, you know? Because it's like, there's plenty of stuff that's like, I don't do. You said accomplishment. Yeah. So, oh, you did say accomplishment's a weird thing. Yeah, so it's not achievement of like a higher reward, but it's accomplishing a task, right? And it's like you should do tasks or things because they bring you joy, you know? And as long as you find the accomplishments that bring you joy, right? The tasks, whatever we want to call it, right? The things that you do, you know? Oh, yeah. That was good. And that was bad. And that was really bad. All right, we're back on PB pace. Not by much, but a little bit of something. If we can get 3 seconds ahead, which we're not really going to be able to do here. I'll go for the cool strat at the end. That'll save half a second, which then we'll get 1 second. And then we'll only be 2 seconds over 20 minutes. Unless I die right here. Or actually, we could get sub 20 because I think I can shave half a second here. And I don't know. It's going to be hard. I might be able to shave 2 seconds off the final boss from this PB because I think this PB is 141. And we just got a 139. So it is possible. It's saying 1954. I don't know about all that. No, okay, that was a cool move. We lost time for it. That's okay. Darn it. We had to go for it. We had to go for it. It was like, it wasn't worth getting a PB and not going for it at point, you know, 4 seconds of a PB. But I guess since I'm on the topic of books, I have it written down as one of the things I should talk about, which was like, which books like have influenced you the most was like the question, because I pulled up like 100 questions and like wrote some things down. And like, I think reading's important. I think like, I think checking yourself is important. I have a bad habit of, you know, not always doing that, but when I do, you know, and like you could realign for those, like in nautical terms, it's like if you are driving a ship and you are like half a degree off, it's fine if you're like half a degree off for a day. But if you're half a degree off for 3, 5, 6, the longer you're off half a degree, the further away from your goal you get, right? Like you might start off where it's just this minuscule thing, but you slowly drift further and further off course. And like if you're like a carpenter, it's the same thing, right? If you measure an angle slightly wrong, the further along you cut, the more unstraight it gets, right? And so it's important to like go back. I think reading is like one of those really good ways. I think it's why it's important to read like quote unquote self-help books, even if you're doing okay. Or go back and read the books that were influential on you, the books that mattered, and be like, why did this matter? Go back, watch the movies, the shows that you loved, because you loved them, and then also be like, why did I love this at this point in my life? I don't know, psychoanalyze yourself constantly. It's fun, I think. I don't know. Well, not a bad run. An emotional run. My God, dude. We were like behind. We were on time, behind, ahead, way ahead, pretty far ahead, behind. Almost up 20. We're so close. We're so close. So close. Ah. You know, I don't want to talk about books. I'm going to talk about my 3 movies I think about all the time. Billy, you want to guess what one of them is? Ah. I think she's lurking. So 3 movies I probably think about like way too much. And like when I saw them were like, I don't know, I thought they were like mind-blowing at the time. They were Click. Yep, the Adam Sandler movie. Limitless, the Rocket Raccoon, Bradley Cooper, and Jumper. I forget who the main guy in Jumper is, but what's his face from Matrix is in it. What's that guy's name? Morpheus, right? He's in it. Pretty sure. The Good Place has been that Hayden... Wait. What's the guy who plays Anakin? You think stream might be lagging for you? You could try refreshing. I also need to double check that I have low latency mode on. No. He did play Anakin. Is it really? Wow, I did not realize that. Configuration. Stream. Mode. Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing real latency, so I have Baja latency, low latency mode set. Wow, I did not realize that. That's wild. Well, good for him. He has 2 good movies. Jumper is one of my all-time favorites. I consistently forget that exists. It's so good, man. It's so good. He's an idiot for certain reasons, but so good. Let's talk about Jumper then. Why did Jumper sit in my head? You refresh? Hopefully it's better. Hopefully it's better. What was the question? Oh, it was there's 3 movies I think about all the time. And I wanted you to guess what one of them definitely was. Lawrence Fishburne. Is that the guy's name? Is that Morpheus's name? Why does that name sound familiar? Oh, that is his name. Holy cow. I thought you were making a funny. Wow. Right? He's in Jumper, right? Am I wrong? Oh my god, they made a second one? Oh no, it is Samuel L. Jackson. I thought the movie was too small to be Samuel L. Jackson, because I thought it was him, but then I'm like, no, I think it's Morpheus. Kristen Stewart's in this movie? Rachel Bilson, what do we know her from? God, I know her from something. How I Met Your Mother? I don't think so. Maybe? The OC? I don't know what that is. That came up. I have no idea. I've never heard of that. Jamie Bell's in the Fantastic Four 2015. I don't know who he played in that. Anna Sophia Robb. I forgot she was in that too. I forgot she existed. I loved her as a kid. I loved Soul Surfer and Bridge to Terabithia and Race to Witch Mountain. Best meme, you know? One of them. Very popular teen show in like 2004. Max Theriot. Who's this guy? SEAL Team, Bates Motel, The Pacifier. That's a good movie. Michael Rooker. Oh, it's Mary Poppins, y'all. He's in this movie too. Holy cow. Diana Lane. Isn't she in some joke? She's in Man of Steel and Let Him Go. Wasn't there a joke about Diana Lane? Tom Hulce? Amadeus, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Teddy Dunn. He was in Veronica Mars. Alright. Wow, it really is Hayden Christensen. Wild, I totally forgot. Man, wild. Alright. Oh, man. Okay. So, for those who do not know Jumper, so I'll ask you guys, if you could have any superpower in the world, what could you have? And mine would be, it's a little OP and they had to nerf the shit out of it in the hit TV show Heroes. But my favorite character in Heroes was actually Hero. And his power was the ability to, what's like the word? To like bend time and space, right? So he could pause time, he could go back in time, he could go forward in time, he was a tortoise without a TARDIS, you know? So he could then teleport anywhere. He was literally a time and relative in dimension in space machine himself, right? But better than a TARDIS because he could stop time. And I have a lot of questions with stopping time. Like, does the Earth's rotation stop? Like, I think what it is, is that we're all fixed in a time thing, right? So, like, everything then becomes quantum locked, and that's the only way it works, where, like, then momentum and stuff doesn't exist because the momentum and all the physics is also quantum locked with it. And that's the only way. People talk about, like, time, like, oh, it's only your area, but that doesn't really make sense, because then it's like everybody's gonna know that their watches are off, and then the rest of the world doesn't notice. There's a lot of questions with, like, time stop, right? And this is why my other favorite movies Click, right? We have Jumper and Click. You combine the two, my favorite superpower of all time, right? But yeah, well, like, teleportation is, like, the best one. Anybody who says flying, like, why do you want to fly instead of teleport? Like, oh, it'd be so cool. Like, screw cool, man. Practicality over coolness. I'm sorry. Like, practicality is cool. Teach that in school. There's a lid on this. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, Jumper was so good because it was a really good teleportation movie, because it was teleportation with limits. And it was interesting. So, Jumper, for those who don't know, is Hayden Christensen. Yes, young Anakin, young Darth Vader, old Anakin. Not young Anakin, old Anakin, young Darth Vader. If you want to fly, you can use teleport, right? Just teleport a lot, you know, it'll make sense. It'll be fine. Like it, yeah. Yeah, it's just, right. And so, I don't even know why you'd want to fly. Like, why? We get a parachute or a glider suit? Oh, yeah, get a glider suit. Teleport way up high, and then glide. Yeah, way better. Yeah. You'd love to fly? Why fly? If you could only have one power, why would you choose flight over teleportation? Yeah. Like, what about teleporting with a hang glider? And then I have other questions with that, right? Does momentum travel with you? Like if I jumped out of a plane without a parachute, and I teleport right before I hit the ground to right above the ground, would I still die because my momentum still exists with me? I think so, right? I think yes, right? You would have to figure out a way. You'd have to, like, teleport into the ocean, under the ocean, into a pool of water. That way you're not hitting the surface, then you're just in the water, you know? Right? But, like, teleportation would make life so much easier. I could see everybody, like, I could save so much time, where it's like all this time that was used on transportation, never have to deal with traffic again. And it's like, guess what? You can teleport, but, like, it's like, I like to drive cars, so it's like, right, I could go drive cars or do that when I wanted to, you know? I do think, like, you should have the ability to teleport anything touching you, you know, within, like, reason. Like, obviously not like the whole ground teleports with you and then you gotta deal with that shit, right? Intentionally teleports with you, right? There's some logic to it, right? So you could teleport you and all your clothes, you know, and you and somebody that you grab onto, or your backpack or whatever, you know, like, right? Because it serves a practical purpose, it could also be used for leisure. Dressed out, go fly around for hours. Sounds awesome. Sounds tiring, dude. Like, it sounds like flying sounds like a physical task. It's like, right? Is it? I guess it's better than jogging, but, like, I feel like you're just gonna get, like, bored of it, you know, or tired. You're like, you know. I don't think that you could just fly. I think, like, teleportation, right? It'd be like a muscle that you have, right? You have your teleportation muscle, your flying muscle, whatever it is. You got, like, an extra gland, and you're gonna have to, like, work on that, right? And it's like, it's gonna be exhausting, and then, like, same with teleportation. You can't just teleport 50 times in one day, you know? It's gonna be exhausting, so you're gonna have to, like, work on it, you know? I used to put headphones in and walk 3 to 4 miles a day. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess if you're, like, doing it leisurely, right? I guess, like, a stroll fly, I don't know, right? Wouldn't be bad. Telekinesis, astral projection, time manipulation, flight. Literally don't need a car, don't need to walk unless you enjoy it. Did you ever watch? Yeah, I love My Hero. I really like My Hero. I have not caught up, though. I am quite behind. I watched the first anime movie in theaters, which was a weird experience because I am a sub guy all the way, and watching it in America meant that it was dubbed, and hearing those voices dubbed for the first time was not great. like grape head kid, horrible voice in English. But yeah, really enjoyed it. So I watched that, and then I watched the season after that came out. Like teleportation is more efficient. I'm gonna read through this. For sure, but I'd rather have flight because it has multiple use, and I think I'd enjoy the experience of it. I mean, that's fair. Oh god, oh god. Wow, I turned early there. Not great, but you know, we survived. You really don't want to be losing time in these first like 27 levels. I mean, I do like birds, that's fair. You could see them up close and personal. You could migrate every year. Yeah, so right, I would love teleportation. So right, Piper, you mentioned like, right, so like what did they do in Heroes for those who haven't seen it? Hero ended up getting like brain cancer from his own power, and they were basically like, oh, if you use this too much you'll die. So that's how they nerfed him, was like, oh, your brain cancer is causing you to have like brain aneurysms and you get bloody noses. And he had to like basically sacrifice himself and like take years off his life to use his power. Honestly, who cares? I mean, like, it's either lose the time now by sitting in the car or lose the later years of life. And it's like, I'd rather use the later years in life and be able to get to spend these years not sitting in traffic. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like, oh no, you lose the last 10 years, they sound like they're gonna suck anyways, dude. Fuck it, burn them if it means I can get 10 years now. Like, you know? Like, I think it's a weird way of looking at it, but I think it's an effective way of looking at it. And then, like, time manipulation, the big thing is, like, I got really mad, actually. This girl was like, I want to pause time to do all the things I want to do, and unpause time to do all the things I don't want to do. And, like, I think the opposite. I would like to pause the time to do things like sleep. Like, I want to sleep, but like, you know, like things like sleeping or homework or stuff, because I don't want that shit to take time of my life, you know? So if I could pause it. The problem with like time manipulation though, and like the bigger question, right? Quantum locked, but you're not quantum locked. So right now, are you aging at a different rate than everybody? Like, if I pause, let's say in 5 years for the total of 1 year, you know, am I now 6 years older? Like, but then once again, I stand by this. I would rather lose the years at the end of my life, you know, quote unquote, you know, than lose, you know, the years and then and gain the years now, you know? Like, yeah, controlling time is my top choice for superpower. Fly in a second. Yeah, that's good. The goose gain. Yeah. So right, like, that's the big thing, and like big question about that, like, and then like, how does it fully work? Those are the questions I have. But yeah, so Jumper, how they nerf teleportation Jumper and Wept, I don't know how much you remember, but correct me if I'm wrong. The main character has to either A, physically have been there or physically had seen it, because I don't think, and then they have to be able to like see and or imagine it. And like, I think the problem was that this movie came out in like 2008. In which like the internet was like prevalent, but not to like the level it was now, where like Google Earth and Maps wasn't like great, because like this guy Hayden Christensen, he had like photos of every place I had seen, but like his big thing that was like funny was that like he was I would say like chaotic good alignment, right? Where he would like steal from banks, but then he'd leave IOUs. I don't know what his plan was to pay them back. But it's so like, you know, because like I feel like you could just Google anywhere and then teleport there, and you always have a phone on you, so it's like, you know, they recorded this movie like before God damn it, this was the one. Oh god, that's a horrible death. So he would like get tours and be like, hi, I'm interested in your bank. And then get tours of like, he'd be like, where do you store all the money? What the heck? Oh shit. I'm thinking too much about Jumper and trying to remember instead of just going off the vibe. I feel like he's more neutral good. Yeah, I would say, right, that's what I was really debating. I was like, is he more neutral thing good? Is he... I'm sucking up. Wow. That was the one. That was the one, y'all. You remember I was like, oh, we can't lose too much time before level 27? This is level 27, so I subconsciously was like, okay. We're not finishing this run. I'm sorry. I wasn't gonna do reset runs, but I just can't. I got too frustrated. Yeah, he has to have a clear mental image of the place and have seen it either in person or in a photo. See, that's where I get confused at, where he has to see it in a photo. So I remember he had all these pictures of photos, but I think they were all places that he had seen, so the photos were there to help him have a clear mental image. I really like Nightcrawler in the X-Men. I thought he was a fascinating creature with a really cool power. I don't like... That's one of my least favorite. I don't find... What is it? What's the... Delia, what's the X-Men with Pete Holmes? I don't like that X-Men interview where, like, I reference it and I get the joke, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I hold Nightcrawler too close to home. Which I went and to see Nightcrawler in theaters. Was really weirded out when there wasn't an X-Men. You know, when he's Professor X and he interviews all of them. Maybe not. But yeah. So his whole thing is like, because he always poofs and there's that blue smoke, and so in the... I know the videos you're talking about. Oh, you don't know what they're talking about? Okay. But yeah, his whole joke is like, that's always like a fart or whatever. Oh, what's the series called? Like, right, like the Batman is called the Badman, right? That's the Badman series, and then like I don't know what these are called. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so Jumper was like, cool, that was nerfed, and then the whole thing is Samuel L. Jackson, which in my mind, I thought, I don't know, my brain input Lawrence Fishburne for some reason. Maybe it's just he gives that off. Professor X fires the X-Men, maybe? I think that might be it, yeah. X-Men. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, with an EX, yeah. Is that he like has a secret organization that's like tracking him and trying to. So you have like Hayden Christensen with like love interest and trying to survive with this cool power, and then the secret organization trying to kill him. It's like a cool mystery. And if I recall correctly, it ends on like a cliffhanger, and you're like, oh, this is so interesting. And then I think like Jumper 2 did bad. Oh, so they're all trans? Exactly. Exactly, wept. I was thinking the same thing when I heard X-Men. But yeah, so that's but yeah, so I think about Jumper all the time because I'm like, I think that's a reasonable power, you know. It was very much set in a sense that like this is a real thing. Like I think that's what Jumper does so well, is that makes it feel integrated into real life. You're like, I believe this story, you know what I mean? And that's impressive to do for a superhero movie, you know what I mean? Because he's not a superhero. That's the best thing about the movie. It's just a kid with superpowers, and it's not like a Hancock. It's not like, oh, a dick gets superpowers, and like, you know, like Hancock is an enjoyable movie in my opinion. I find it interesting, but it's not, you know, it's not like Deadpool where it's like, you know, because Deadpool's just Deadpool. Deadpool's his own vibe, you know. This was such an interesting movie because it was basically a regular kid gets powers, and then survives and just has the best life, you know what I mean? And like does it within reason, you know? He's not out there trying to like, he's not evil. It's not like, oh, watch this guy take over the world and like enslave all the humans, you know? It's not like that. It's just like kid gets the power to teleport and just like fucks off, you know? And it's like, it's a fun movie. I think it's so fun. It's like, it's so well done. It's just, I like watch, and why do these three movies, right? Why do all three of them, right? And these three movies are Limitless, Click, and Jumper. What do they all have in common, honestly, is that's just about some dude, you know, who gets the power, you know? It's like, it's not about some like guy from space lands on Earth, or he's truly secretly a mutant, or, you know, like, that's what made Harry Potter so good, right? We all loved it because we all were like 11-year-old kids being like, when's my Hogwarts letter gonna arrive? You know, like, because it just felt like this is something that could exist at that time. It couldn't exist now, like, not with Google Earth and shit, you know what I mean? But it's like, it really felt real, you know? It felt like it could be you. And so, like, I've always, like, loved things like that. And so I was, like, so into it, you know? Whereas, like, it was just so well believable. And I was like, oh my god, maybe I'll get... Because I don't remember how he gets the power. It's like, he just has it, I think. Like, he just, like, ends up finding out he has it. I don't think, like, a vat of, like, whatever pours on him. I don't think a spider bites him, you know? It's like, it just happens, you know? It's just like, oh, dude should, like... evolution. I think, like, that's what their whole thing is. I think it's like evolution has proven more valuable, and we're like, you're not a homo sapien or something. Like Samuel Jackson is just like, Hayden, you're not a homo, I have to kill you, homos only. Like, that's how it goes, like, you know? And that's the gay agenda right there, just like being pushed. And so, you know, it's a great movie because of that. But, you know, I think that's legitimately, I think there is like a whole rant on like Neanderthals though, like, no shit. And like, I don't know, maybe you know what, we should do a Jumper movie night. Guys, go join Discord, bang Discord and chat, join it, react to the question in general. I decided not to put announcements because, I don't know, I thought it would govern more people talking about it. And let's watch Jumper. We'll find somewhere to watch it. Delia, have you seen it? Like, let's find a time. Let's watch Jumper. It's so good. Like, and nope. Yeah, it's a great movie. Had you heard about it before my rant today? Have we talked about it before? Yes. Okay. Is this one of those movies that you knew everything about but had never watched? Oh, I got scared. I got scared and then lost too. That was dumb. I should have just committed. You just heard of it mentioned here and there. Yeah, it's her. Yeah, and then it's like, right, so Limitless is Bradley Cooper, you know, Rocket Raccoon. I like Bradley Cooper, honestly. I do get him mixed up with who's the Notebook guy? Who's the guy that dated dated Taylor Swift briefly and is like the Zodiac killer? No, what the heck? Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling. No, not Ryan Reynolds, that's Ryan Gosling, he's Ken. Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, I get the three of them mixed up randomly. Not for any great reason. I don't know why. Gosh darn it! How many times are we gonna do this? How many times are we doing this? We're going for PBs today. We were gonna do GDQ practice, but I want to go for PBs today, y'all. I want to go for PBs today. We're going for PBs today. We're going for peanut butter. Peanut butter jelly time! Peanut butter jelly time! There you go! There you go! Alright. Sorry. I need more water. Alright, I'm not gonna do a be right back because I'm literally going to, like, be right back. Hold on, do I have the thing on here? I don't want to put a car share because the car says it's PP time. Alright, there it is. Yeah, I'll be right back. Like, literally, like, 12 seconds. We'll do a chair stream. Chair stream. Actually, you know what? You guys go. Have an narwhal. Hey. There we go. Take out the stream. Thanks, guys, for holding it down. All right, back. All right. All right. Limitless. Oh my god, guys, this movie. This movie. I learned that this movie was maybe the biggest the biggest Adderall, like, campaign ever. In my opinion, like, that's what Limitless is for ADDers, right? Because, like, as somebody that is so scatterbrained that they leave stoves on, the other day I left water boiling, I just like fought with myself for hours to get a task done, you know, because it did not spark joy. Thanks, PyPybot. Oh, I fixed PyPybot. So PyPybot is now a moderator. That is the reason why it was double tapping earlier with like different names. So as soon as I mod it, it seems to be fixed. I didn't want to mod it at first, but now because they've updated it, so now he's registered as a bot, so it registers as a moderator bot instead of showing the sword. I think it works out a lot better, or at least on OBS it does. Maybe not. Maybe he's just a bot with a moderator sword. I was scared of having too many people in here with like moderator swords, right? Because it like it can make it. People talk about like, oh, if you have too many moderators, people will be scared to talk because they just feel like all these swords around them are gonna like get them. I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's true. You guys let me know. And then so I like didn't want the bot to be like adding to that perception, but the bot isn't gonna ban you. That'll be me or Wet or Onyx or Fizzy or when we get Starve, new account modded. But yeah, Limitless. Who in here has seen Limitless? They made a TV show that was on for like a season and a half. Limitless is about this like guy who finds a drug. I think Robert De Niro is like one of the main characters in it as well. He's like the dirty politician who's on it, and he's like using this drug or whatever, right? And so what this drug is, it goes off that thing that's like not true that we used to hear about all the time. It's like, did you know humans could only use like 12% of their brain at a time? And then like scientists were like, dude, you have to use all your brain to do shit? Maybe only use 12. If you were like 13-year-old me was like, oh my god, that's so true. You know, and Google and like Ask Jeeves was like, yeah, that's true. You know, according to whatever. You know, and it'd be like, according to cave drawings by cavemen, that's true. And you'd be like, all right, checks out with me. Historically accurate. You know, I don't know what Cheese would actually say, you know, but, you know what I mean? But, so Limitless has this idea, right? And this is like where it kind of gets like shady, but like, so its whole idea was like, oh, you only use so much of your brain. And Limitless is this drug that has helped like create the pathways and the neurons that then like give you that. And then spoilers, by the way, you actually end up like it helps open those pathways and utilizing them like builds them and like stronger, you know. Your brain's a muscle, right? So the whole movie is from not Ryan Gosling, not Ryan Reynolds, not Jake Gyllenhaal. Bradley Cooper. From Bradley Cooper, Silver Linings Playbook. From his perspective, and like we get to hear in his brain, and he like does all these things. I also really liked 21 at the time, but that one's like iffy now because like I really liked 21 and I really liked Baby Driver, and spoiler alert, those are the same movies. Where it's shitty ass Kevin Spacey takes advantage of young kids, young adults, to do something shady for money. You know what I mean? Like, how weird that he was so good at that role. But yeah. So it's a documentary. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Baby Driver's really good. It's Edgar Wright, who's the same guy who did Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and the Tremello. Is that the name of the ice cream cone trilogy? aka Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and whatever the other one is. Something like that. Something like Tremello. It's not Tremello though. My brain had it. Staccato, Stromboli. Ah, crap. Yeah, I remember. But yeah, so it's that guy. But yeah, I really like those two because it's like a guy who's like really, like, it's just like a regular dude in college who's good at math and then learns how to count cards, you know? I'm like, oh my god, I could do that. But Limitless is like kind of set in that same sense where it's like from the perspective of like the main dude, and then we like hear behind his like eyes, you know, like we can hear his brain. So like Limitless, we hear his brain thing. It's like, oh my god, I want this drug. Turns out like this drug might exist for my brain. I just have not had good luck getting it prescribed. Because, you know, I'd like to not burn down my house, but, you know, they're like, you're too successful to have this, so, you clearly don't need it. I'm like, that's because I prioritize weird, and, like, my brain thinks about things differently, you know? Like, I lose my keys every day, and my phone multiple times a day. I forget that my keys are in my own hands, like, but it's okay. But yeah, Limitless, I was like, oh my god, like, I would be so successful and my life would be, because it's just a regular dude who like finds like a drug dealer who does these drugs and like learns how to like mass produce them for himself. Your phone is always at 4%. That's true. That should be proof on its own. Maybe that's just because I don't know when to charge it because I'm afraid of like leaving it somewhere. So, and then I always forget to bring a charger anywhere, and I've lost my battery pack charger. Like God only knows where that went. Like, you know, and that's always the thing. I like go in and then like I go to psych and they're like, okay, cool, we're just gonna work on like techniques. Like, dude, I got techniques on techniques on techniques, you know? I don't want to lose my phone. No, I went for it. I went for it. It was worth going for, you know? It was worth going for. There's still time to be, let's see, if we're over 10 seconds behind PB after the second one, we will not continue. All right, we're 11 seconds. We will not continue. All right. We're just gonna do a few. I haven't done reset runs like this actually ever. So this is the first time that we're ever doing this. I've only done full runs. I've rage quit a few times. That's true, I will say, but that's not what this is. This is, we're going for PBs. And then Click's just like random dude goes into Bed Bath & Beyond and gets like godlike powers from an angel. And then he's an idiot. An absolute idiot. Oh, I'm gonna fast forward through shit. Like, don't fast forward through life, man. Like, I would never, ever, ever fast forward through life. Period. It just freaks me out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. It's not, no. You know, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, why are we fast forwarding? Like, why was that even in your mind, you know? Playing back memories? Oh my god. Especially if I could bring back other people. Like, you said this, like, at work? Bet! Stand by! Like, as I pull up the memory of me definitely saying the wrong thing, but meaning the other thing and then losing consistently. Because once again, brain's not attached half the time, you know? Like, that's just the way it is. But it'd be great. It'd be great, you know? And, like, definitely using that. And then just pausing, man. Just pause. Like, oh, this project's due tomorrow and I actually like hang out with my kids and get this project in. Pause the fucking time, do the project, and then hang out with the kids. He's like, I'm gonna fast forward through the unfun part of making the project, then hang out with the kids. But it's like time still went by, man. Like, you still only spent like 45 minutes with your kids 3 hours later than you. Gosh damn it. Later than you wanted. There's time. Well, it's fine. This isn't gonna be PB, but we'll only reset if we get moving forward. There's 15 seconds to be saved. So, you know, we'll say anything over 15 is reset worthy. So if we ever get above 15%, then we'll reset. Because I think we can still get our sub 20 with like shaving some good time off later at less than 15, really at less than 10 for sure. What's the other dumb shit he does in there? Oh my god, dude. Language translate? Like, please. Oh my god. Amazing. Amazing. Let me use it. Subtitles? All the time. I need subtitles in real life. I can only hear the TV when the subtitles are on. That's why I have subtitles for you guys. I hope they help. You know, I'm sorry that they're a little small on this one. You know, we can only fit so much stuff. I tried to shove a lot of stuff on my screen while also not making it look like shit. And so far, I think you guys enjoy it. I think you guys think it looks good. I like how it looks, you know, but these are closed captioning, you know? And there's speech to text, so they're trying their dang diddly best. And I talk pretty fast, you know? So it's like, we're all trying our dang diddly best out here, you know? So, I always feel like I'm ahead there, and then it's like, I guess, a little bit. But yeah, those are the 3 movies I think about all the time, where it's like, and I'm like realizing now why like I think about them. It's like, because, you know, I want, like, I just want, I'm like the little kid from The Incredibles, you know? I'm just sitting around on my little tricycle on my big wheel being like, I don't know, I'm just waiting for something amazing to happen, I guess, you know? Like, and like by amazing I don't mean like something cool within the mundane. I mean like, give me superpowers for no reason, you know? Test my true, like, I think I'm chaotic good, you know? I think a lot of people that know me would think I'm... Actually, here's the thing. I thought I was really chaotic good for a really long time. I really stood by that. And then I got in a bunch of trouble doing not chaotic good things, per se. Things that were probably true neutral. And so I got in trouble doing those things. And funny enough, it, like, moved me towards lawful good. Because I was like, oh my god, I, like, thought, like... you know, these rules didn't apply or whatever, because, you know, I'm, yeah. I didn't get in, like, crazy trouble. I didn't, like, kill anybody or, like, hurt anybody else. But, like, it was just, like, that shit where I was like, okay, I need to, like, rethink life. And, oh, no. Oh, double no. Bollocks. That's... The hard part with practice this level. Okay, guys, so here's the hard part with practice this level. We're talking about global triggers, right? So these guys at the end are still moving even though we're locked in here and the timer stopped from all, as far as I know. And then when we redo it, right? Like when we redo this level and we do practices, you don't get the, you get to start with this, right? So individual level practice might be great for all of that, but never quite lines up right with this. I think you'd have to like do a timer thing, because it's like, it's way easier the second time through, which is like really hard to like, so it's like the only way to practice this level for true run is in a true run, where you have to constantly get to level 10, because even if you die in level 10 before beating it, as you saw, we don't have to re-get the power up, you just have it, you know, which is good. But from a practicing and speed running, it's not great. Also, I went too fast there. That's wild. So, all right. What time is it? It's 9. All right. I said I'd be done at like 9:30 because I do have to do this stuff for our potluck tomorrow. I'm making stuffed dates wrapped in hamon. Dan Tilly's. D-A-N-I-T, something like that is how it is in Spanish. And then queso de comte. I don't know how to say stuffed. I think it'd just be like Dantiles con Hamani Comte. You know? Sweet. Sweet. Sorry, work messages. Waterfish has followed me. Hey guys, by the way, if you didn't know, I'm now on Blue Sky. It seems that there is a new max exodus happening on Twitter, which is very interesting. I wonder if it's due to election or if something's going on with Twitter or something with Elon. I don't know, but there's a max exodus on Twitter. A lot of people are talking about like how Twitter's eating itself, and with that max exodus, people are entering Blue Sky in what seems to be a positive light. Blue Sky seems to be a lot less drama, and people just trying to have fun there and not deal with the bullshit, and then they just like, and I don't know, you know, I like it so far. It's got old Twitter vibes, honestly, which is great. So if you guys don't have one, I do recommend one. Jack Dorsey. That's that guy's name, right? The previous Twitter creator did launch Blue Sky, but he got like, he stepped away from Blue Sky like 2 years ago, I want to say, because it was turning too much into the Twitter that he left, which is a good thing, because the Twitter that he left was the Twitter that we loved. So, you know, Blue Sky is trying to do a lot of that in a positive light. So, if you guys liked old Twitter and you're looking for that vibe to come back, don't worry, it now exists on Blue Sky. In my opinion, there's still some weirdness with it, and they're still working on some stuff, and there's still some safety features that definitely need to be added. Like, I personally think you should strip metadata for us. I think that you should be notified when other people put you in a list. I think there needs to be a little bit more bot moderation. You know, and then it's still taking some time to get, yeah, no, it's weird. It's really weird. All of Blue Sky is like, I don't know why. Well, I know why I got mine. I got mine because I started streaming again, and it's like, I need something new. And then, yeah, as soon as I joined, it's like everybody else joined, you know? Yeah, nothing really, you know? I don't know. Nothing that I know. I think part of, like I said, there's been a max exodus on Twitter. It's a lot of Twitter people who are still using it finally leaving. It was me. It was me. I joined, and that was it. Everyone wants to be near me, 100%. They're like, oh shit, he officially left? I was thinking it's post-election. I really was. I think it's post-election reaction. I think it is a max exodus from Twitter, leading everybody to Blue Sky. I think Blue Sky's hit like its time. I think it's hit its time like Pokemon TCG Pocket did, where it's around enough that kind of like had figured itself out, and there's enough people talking good about it that like it had reached a global audience. Because that's the thing with reach, right? It grows exponentially. So eventually, like, if every person tells 4, eventually like it goes from 64 to 256 to like 256 to like where you get a couple thousand, and then it's a couple more thousand. So I think that's also partially what happened, is that the exponential growth just hit hard, you know? I also am curious, right? There is a lot of people bitching that Blue Sky is an echo chamber, which is fine. I'm gonna be honest. I think that the people that I echo around are more based in reason, and I am more willing to fact check and check out and provide context than other echo chambers. I think most people in my echo chamber would agree. I do think that there is some problems with that, obviously. I recognized it more during the election, but yeah, it was just like this crazy thing. So who knows? But what's some other movies? Oh my god, The Pacifier? That's, what's the other one? Daddy Daycare? Because Pacifier's Vin Diesel, and I love that one. And then where he's like has to be the dad. And then what's Daddy Daycare? Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger? Right? You just gotta love like Daddy Daycare was a fam. Eddie Murphy. What's the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger that I'm thinking of? Where he's got like take care of a bunch of kids. You're thinking of Kindergarten Cop. I am thinking of Kindergarten Cop. Thank you. Yes. Those all have similar vibes in my mind. Remember as we were leaving the generation of like dads don't know how to do shit? All right, here we go. We're getting this first try. First try. Here we go. No! Oh, I needed to jump again. Okay, I know exactly what to do here, though. I know exactly what to do here. It's dash, dash, jump, dash, jump, dash. Dash, jump, land, jump, dash. That makes sense? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fall, dash, jump, dash, drop, land, jump, dash. And it should save like 2 seconds. Or maybe like 1. We're going to do all this for 1. Okay. All right. 3, 2, yeah, so for GDQ, what do we think? I think 5 is a good number. I think 5 is a good number for a crowd to count down from, because everybody wants to count down 3, 2, 1. But you gotta give them a 3, 2, 1 basically, but like nobody wants to count down from 6. So I'm thinking I'm gonna be like, all right, crowd, help me out. Let's count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, and then like by 3, everybody will be like, oh shit, we're counting down, and then they know where to count down from, and I'll be like 2, 1, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot we start the timer from after that one. So I just gotta remember that it's not from the play menu, it's not from the new game menu, it's from the difficulty menu. So yeah, yeah, thank you, Delia. And then we're off, and then we'll be like, all right, hello everybody. This is Bzz. Bzz is a independent game developed by Czech creator ko.dll. KO almost developed this game completely by himself, with a little bit of help with the music and a few other small things, but was published completely by himself as a fully true independent game that came out last November. Not last November, because it's actually last November's right now. In November of 2023, this recently actually launched on Switch about 3 or 4 months ago, so it's available everywhere. KO, prior to this is always, what the heck am I doing? I gotta figure out what I'm talking about, you know? How do we want to do this? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. This is Bzz. This is a indie platformer based over, developed by Czech game designer and publisher. I need to know what I'm saying, guys. We're doing a full GDQ practice. All right. Good morning, Pittsburgh. Saludos desde Pittsburgh. I am the Pied Piper. I'm just gonna say that all before we start playing. So, welcome. This is Bzz. Bzz is an indie platformer game in which we are going to be completing 52 individual levels throughout this game. We're currently playing as XZ. We are an overglorified toaster filled with AI. And we have been set out right now to just test the limits and see what we're going to do. But by the end, we'll have to save the world. We're currently playing on normal, and we're doing an any % run. So how this game works is there's 3 different categories that we currently have. You have very easy, or no, there are 2 categories that we currently are running, which is any % and flawless. If you notice in the top right corner, you'll see that we have a little pizza disappearing. That is our in-game timer. To get a flawless, you must do 2 things. You must beat it before the entire pizza has been consumed, and you must do it by like collecting all the golden bolts. So we're not doing flawless, instead we're doing any %. So the goal of any % is to beat all 52 levels as quickly as possible. There are also additional bonus levels that can be unlocked by collecting certain items throughout the game, including the bolts. Right now we'll see that we're getting an upgrade. This is our first of 4 upgrades. We're getting double jump. This is important for maneuverability and will come greatly in handy throughout this run, but it's not the best upgrade that we get, especially not as speedrunners. We're still going. We're still going. We'll figure that one out later. XZ is currently, I already said that. What am I talking about? Was developed by Emily. I don't know what I want to talk about. Look at these backgrounds. What do I want to do after this? Oh, 14. We said 15. That was too close. I gotta figure out what I'm talking about. Right? There's so much to talk about, and it's like I want to time things right, and I want to like talk about there are 4 categories in this game. You have very easy, normal, and insane. The difference between these 4 categories is very easy actually simplifies the level, so you'll see less enemies, and then you get to die up to 7 times during that. Maybe, you know what, guys? I'm gonna give an incentive for Robot Showcase. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a Robot Showcase incentive. I'm gonna submit that today. I should just do that right now. I gotta go to the incentives portal, and then I gotta show it off. Hi, GDQ. That sucked. Hi, GDQ. I decided that... Oh my god! Even the thought of it! Killer, dude. Alright. Holy cow. Holy guacamole. This isn't even a good time to start doing that. Oh my god. Alright, alright. Alright. Last PB run. Alright, no resets. No resets. We're finishing this one no matter what, and then we'll do a clippable moment where I can show off what a robot showcase looks like. And then move on from there. Alright. It has officially hit that point where I am toasty. Indeed. I'm trying to think. What other movies do I reference all the time? Well, I reference Scott Pilgrim vs. the World all the time. And you're right, I just like him a lot. I think Scott Pilgrim... I think there are movies that exist in this world that are made for people. And what's his name? Matt Damon has a really good point where... I think it was Matt Damon. It was either Matt Damon or the dude guy George Clooney. Or I think... Dude, I know those are very different people. They're like, what the heck is he talking about? I think it's Matt Damon. So one of the things that's like really hard in life right now is that we are moving to everything as a service. I am anti everything as a service. I'm anti subscription based model systems. I think it is an attack on the poor. I think it is a disgusting thing to do. Because we're basically taking the one thing that like you could have in life, which is like ownership that you could like pass on to family or anything, and we have completely given it up, right? We lease our routers for the internet that we use at home with like no benefit. Like you don't even get them upgraded or like maintenance. Like sure, that should be part of like your service plan. Like I'm all for like phone plans, like those kind of make sense in my mind, you know? Like those are like, I guess, you know, so these are the robots and I'll talk about them and then showcase them, you know, as incentive. Okay, we're gonna lose like 3 seconds on that because of all the bonking there. Right, because it's like we already can't buy a house, right? Like your ability to buy a home is slowly more and more so disappearing as we're having companies and landlords buy more and more, and it's one of those things where it's like once you buy one, then you can sell, and then you can buy two. And so we have all this attack on like people not owning private property but owning like or not owning owning personal property and private property, just in the means of like making money off the misfortune of others, right? And so it's like, cool, so you don't own where you live, you have to pay rent for that. You know, like sure you own food, but like that's not gonna last you, right? And we're slowly moving into where it's like, okay, cool, like you don't own the router or any of the cyber equipment inside your own house, you're like relying on somebody else. And then it's like, cool, and then you don't own your car because that's leased, you know, or it's on a lien, or you know, like I wouldn't be surprised if like we move into, because like that's the thing, right? Like especially in America is so credit report driven, that's like you can't even buy a house without having, you know, without somebody owning you, you know. So like we're slowly probably gonna see that with cars too, where it's like, you know, like it's gonna become harder to buy stuff with cash, you know, or even like put cash down and get a mortgage or something, right? Just as like things keep moving on, if you don't have that, I think like it's already basically impossible to get like a car lease without any sort of credit. And then it's like, so cool, they own you in that system. And then it's like you buy software for your computer and you gotta pay a monthly thing for that. And now we don't own movies anymore, so now the favorite movie that you own isn't even produced anymore. Like there is no way to own it, so now you have to do it. I mean, shit, dude, your own photos you're storing on a cloud storage that you have to pay a monthly fee just to own your own photos, you know what I mean? Like it's wild. Right, what did I say I was gonna do? Fall, dash, jump. Oh god, dash, jump, fall. Oh god. There we go. Boom. All that to save 0.4 seconds. But it's a rainbow PB and we did it. That was the goal. We'll play that one back, see what in-game time was, because we do ILs based off in-game time, which is pretty cool. So, I don't know if that's record-worthy, but it feels good. But yeah, so it's like, right, I really do think that, like, with everything being pushed as a service, where it's like you can't own the software on your own computer, like you have to pay a subscription fee for that. I like music, right? Like, we're no longer, you can't own CDs, like things aren't even being produced on CDs. You have to, and like things have moved so far away from, you know, buying individual songs on Apple now that everybody's using Pandora and Spotify and Apple Radio, you know, and there are all these subscription based things. And it's just like, it's rough, you know, and I really do think that we're just going to keep moving this way. I think that eventually we're going to be probably like renting the own clothes off of our backs. And it's all in the means of, you know, generational wealth will stay where it's at and the poor get poorer, you know, and when you're like down on your luck, you literally have nothing. You have no assets to turn in to give to anybody because it's already all owned by the bank, you know. There's no longer going to be repossession. I guess there will be, or it'll all be repossession, you know what I mean? And it's like crazy. And then like honestly, you could make it where it's like every grocery store is a service, right? Where it's like, oh, you want to shop here, you know, like Costco and shit, where it's like now you have to have a membership just to get the groceries that you need, you know what I mean? Like, so you're paying like monthly fees on that, like literally everything that comes with fees. And like when you really think about it, it's like, what are you getting out of this? And it's like a temporary thing of something that like at one point we were able to own, and now has been taken away just for the fact that somebody realized that they can make more money per year and honestly probably offer you less than what they were offering before. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. I don't know why I started on this. It's just so frustrating. It makes me so mad. It's definitely misused. Yeah, like, right, like, I just don't think that there's anybody really doing subscription services for the good of anybody, you know what I mean? Like, everything, like, as a service, like, I think there was, like, streaming platforms are a natural evolution. I think the other problem is, right, that we just don't know what to do with them. Oh, I remember what I was talking about. Yeah, I think that, like, movies can exist for certain people, and I was saying that either Matt Damon or George Clooney said this. I think it was Matt Damon. Was talking about, like, how he liked to do, like, the feel-good, like, whatever movies, you know? And that, like, wouldn't do well in theaters because they were small, you know, they're like a single camera movie or whatever. And you made all your money 3, 4, 5 months after the movie is in theaters because it would all be made in DVD sales because nobody's buying rom-coms and like these family movies that like you don't want to sit in a theater, right? When you go to the theater, you want to experience IMAX and you want to go see, you know, Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. You know, you don't want to see The Descendants, you know what I mean? Or you don't want to go see Dogma or whatever, right? Or maybe even like you don't go, I couldn't even imagine like going to the theaters to watch like Good Will Hunting, right? It just doesn't feel like a movie theater movie. We're gonna play this one safe. You know what I mean? And so it's like, so, you know, DVDs have like being dead has like killed it where now, right, you can't even own, you know, shows or things that you want, and you're literally completely reliant, and God forbid you pirate it, you know what I mean? So like now we're completely reliant on Netflix or Disney or whoever to own the rights and then choose to stream it. That's the other thing. These companies will own your favorite show and then you literally have no legal means of watching it because Netflix will own it and then choose not to have it on their database for whatever reason, you know what I mean? Like, so you're stuck, like, well, can't watch it. We're all just stealing music. I mean, that's fair, right? Like, I was a LimeWire, what was the other one? Sparkwire? Was that the other one? Something with Spark in it for sure. Right? I think I was doing that stuff. Pirate Bay? Well, yeah, obviously Pirate Bay. Is all I used? Oh. That's fair. I mean, I had a uTorrent for a long time, but, you know, allegedly. Just to see what was on there. I never hosted, downloaded, or uploaded anything. Oh, come on, dude. I felt like that was slow, but it felt okay. It's always worth going for. Did I get caught somewhere? Did I not dash somewhere? Like, what happened? That's 7 seconds lost, but that's okay. Okay, that was 10 seconds lost. Not great. How do you charge for your cloud software? Me? Oops, that was dumb. I know you hate, but cloud software has a lot of advantages. I don't hate cloud, actually. I think cloud does have a lot of... I hate cloud because it doesn't make sense for the United States Navy. That's why I get mad about cloud. Because, like, you know what the Navy doesn't have a ton of? Like, bandwidth, you know? And, like, there's, like, better means for it, but it's like we're stuck on a ship in the middle of the ocean. Like, cloud doesn't... Like, that's my biggest issue. And then, like, that's really my... That's, like... It just doesn't make sense for where I'm at, you know? That's why I get really mad about cloud. And I get mad about cloud too because the problem I also have with cloud is that I think cloud has a lot of advantages, but also has my biggest disadvantage with everything government in general. Here's my biggest thing with the government. The government thinking that they're going to save money by giving something to a for-profit company is the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. It is a company for profit. They're using you to make money. Why were you hosting it and paying people to do it before that you were training and qualifying to do was because out of necessity? Not because you want to make money, but because, you know what I mean? Like, how does that make any goddamn sense? When you see shit happen where it's like, oh, we decided to turn over fucking the Department of Electricity to a private company or the DMV or whatever the fuck you think. I just gotta die. Like, honestly, that one's gonna be too confusing to figure out. Like, and it's a for-profit company. Like, do you think they're gonna be doing stuff? Like, so that's my biggest problem with, like, cloud computing with the government, too, is that we're giving up all this control and being like, oh, we trust Microsoft to, like, not fuck us. Like, are you serious? Are you serious right now? Like, I'm sorry, like, Microsoft, sorry, Bill Gates, but you guys make a fuck ton of money. And how do you make a bunch of fuck ton of money? Not providing a service for nothing, you know? Not by providing a service for the sake of somebody needing it to provide a service to somebody else. You make money by selling shit, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I get mad with the government. Like, that's why, like, I think that there's, like, I love, like, shit, dude. I got mad. And it made me stop gaming good. I gotta calm down. Oh my god, what the fuck is going on? This was the level, man. This was the run. I was 20 seconds ahead of PB. This would have been like a 4th place, 3rd place run. I can't believe I messed that up so bad. I died like, what, 4 or 5 times? So that's my biggest complaint, right? I love cloud in the sense that, like, wow, I did that twice now. That's really bad. I gotta stop doing that. I hope I don't do that during GDQ. So like those are, because like that was the thing that really like upset me with the government too, is like we're taking control away. And then also I'm in IT and I'm like, you're taking my job away and selling it to some dude who's gonna do it worse, who has less of a care for the mission than I do, right? We're saying this thing and then it's like, right, you know what my working hours are? Do you know, like I have working hours, but do you know, like, I'm not paid overtime? You know, like, they can just call me in right now. Like, they're fully authorized to, like, call me in right now and be like, you have to show up to work. Like, if some shit popped off, I have to go to work. Period. Because that's what I signed up for. You know what I mean? You know what I have to do if some shit pops off now and it's, like, with a cloud service or an infrastructure as it? It's like, oh, I got put in a ticketing system and I gotta tell this dude. And then I gotta, like, wait on them to respond. And then they gotta get overtime approved. And now it's, like, this problem that we had that could end up killing people. And, like, not, like... Not like, oh, ha ha ha, like, you're exaggerating. No, I literally mean could kill people because they don't have what they need, and they're in a war zone, because now we've given it to some company like Microsoft, and sure, we give them, like, an SLA, and we're like, hey, make sure you enforce this, but it's just like fucking imposing international law on these people, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know, do this thing, otherwise we're gonna charge you, and sure, it sucks, but it's like, you know, and then also, we accept the dumbest SLAs. Of course, this is my opinion alone, and it does not represent the United States government or any of my employers or their opinions. But it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And it's Congress, man. It's like, we elect these idiots. You know what I mean? Like, who are all making money because they all have stocks for, you know, Microsoft or Amazon or whoever the government chooses to use that week. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's wild. It's wild. It's like, what are we doing? And I get it. It's like, this is our answer to like manning problems, but it's like also what, like, we're taking the job and like the purpose away from all these people. And we're like, why are they miserable at work? And it's like, cause the government moves too slow and we're doing dumb shit. And it's like, it really irritates me. I'm like trying my best to like, you know, manage it and like keep people gainfully employed and like not waste government funds constantly, you know. So, and that's all we can do is like, that was my like in work, like driving to work thought was like being a good ambassador, you know, not just like of the United States, but like for like the taxpayers, right? Like, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Pentagon failed its like 8th like budget check in like 8th one in a row or 7th one in a row, like basically since we've started auditing them. They like, it's like $400 billion is like could not be accounted for. It's like, yeah, that tracks, you know. It's like wild. And it's not like, oh my god, this $400 billion, like maybe it went into somebody's pocket, you know, maybe, but probably not. It's probably just like shitty record keeping, to be completely honest. Like, that's really what audits are. They're not, are you doing the right thing? It's, are you doing the right thing and keeping good records of it, you know? Like, and one of those might be easier than the other one. I don't think we're going to be able to make up the time that I lost in Space Tarantula. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. We got very close to our PB. We've been PB pace a few times. But yeah, no. So like my problem, I love having, like, I've been on cloud photos since 2014, 15, 16, 2016. Like, and I get charged for it and I pay for it, and I think it's really nice to have my photos available all the time. But you know when it sucks to have everything on the cloud? Is when I'm on the ship and I'm like, oh, let me show you this photo, and I forget that I have no photos downloaded on my phone, or I'm using something as a reference and it's on the cloud, and I'm like, oh, and now there's no means to access this, you know what I mean? And we're building systems and we're working on it, you know, to make it better, and make it make sense. But like when it started off and like they were negotiating like, hey, we're gonna do all this stuff, and it's still not good. You know, like if you guys are really interested in this thing, I would talk, or I'd listen to Phoenix Cast by Task Force Phoenix, because they talk about DoD and the cyber, and they like do really cool stuff, and it's available on Spotify, and they have like approval. All right, well, we're like we're sub everything all day, so minus like even probably those runs that like I quit on, we're gonna be sub 25. That was really good. That was pretty good. Could have been better. The other thing is like a lot of these as service things are like You no longer have the ability to put hard controls. So I don't know if this is like common terminology, but you have a difference between like hard and soft controls when it comes to like policies, quote unquote. And so hard control is like the ability to physically stop somebody from being capable of doing that. I believe everything that you really want to happen should be a physical control, right? If you tell people to take out the garbage every day and they don't do it, like that's a soft control, right? Putting up a sign being like, make sure you take out the garbage at the end of the day, that's a soft control. A hard control would be making a door that literally would not unlock unless the garbage can was empty after a certain hour. You know, that's a hard control. And guess what? Hard controls result in like 100% compliance, you know? So you always gotta like argue, you know, this is like one of those things that you gotta deal with and be like, all right, do we want compliance? What's the like level of compliance that we're willing to accept? Things like that, right? And the problem with most like SLAs and cloud and things like that is that you're sitting there with soft controls, right? We have written a physical document telling you not to do something with no oversight. We are trusting you basically to audit yourself, or maybe, you know, we write in there where we get to audit you, or right, you're signing up as a user for something as a service and you probably don't know what you're fully signing up for because you didn't read the terms and service of agreement. You didn't realize that by buying an Adobe account that you don't own Adobe, that they own everything that you create in their software so that they can train their AI or do something else with it. And it's like, right? And then maybe you like are a company and you negotiate for that not to be there, but then like all that you tell them is like, hey, you're not allowed to do this, and then they do it anyways and make a boatload of money off of it, or somebody happens and then you get paid in damages, you know? But like I don't think that our core system works like that, you know? Now it's like you have to have enough money to be able to fight Adobe in court. Like, you're fucked. Know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. That's why like, that's my 2 cents on cloud software and software as a service. That was like a whole bag of dimes, you know? It was a lot. Hello, GDQ Game Committee. I thought long and hard, and I thought about which incentives I wanted to do and show off. So this is one incentive that I will show off that I think is good. I think it's easy because a lot of my incentives would require a lot more additional practice or add additional time. I don't want to make your life too crazy with some of those. So here's one that I think was fun and worthwhile. This is called, so while playing through it, these are the 52 levels I'll be playing, but I'm not going to do it during the live run. What I want to show you though is that it will be a run right before It's a Me. Where's It's a Me? There it is. So it's Ambush. So in Ambush, one of the cool things in this level that KO, the developer of this game, made was that he made it where Emily throws and they get to show off the previous robots that they created that like failed before ZX, who we're playing as. And so ZX is the toaster guy, that's who I'm controlling. And this incentive will be called Robot Showcase. And so if the incentive is met during my run, I'll teleport here, and normally this is how this run looks. So this is how this run normally looks. So we run by all these. I'm not going to mention them with this incentive. I'm just going to run by them. I'll talk about the timer, but we're not going to talk about them. And then if the incentive is met, I'll explain that in a second. So this is how it's going to look without the incentive, right? It's going to take, you know, 5-ish seconds, right, to beat that level. Now with the incentive being met, where it's like, hey, is incentive met? Okay, cool. Or we can, honestly, the incentive should close before I start the run because this is level 6 in the game. So we'll close the incentive, you know, before I start the game, and then I'll ask the host, hey, did we meet the incentive? And then the incentive should go, or he would go, yes, we've met it. Or they would go, apologies. Yeah, we've met that incentive. And I go, great, cool. So, all right. And then we get to Ambush, and I explain that one of the cool things is that we have these guys. So we'll like put this in a general timer. I'll just start the regular timer so that way you guys can see it. It's only going to add like 10-15 seconds to our run, which will still put me under estimate. I'm not going to adjust my estimate if we do meet this incentive, because right now I'm averaging on bad runs about 23 minutes. On good runs I'm averaging 20 minutes, and my estimate is currently at 25, which allows me for that little bit of wheelie and gives me time to do stuff like this. So I start here, right? So we'll go like this and be like, all right, so this level's Ambush. It's really cool because one of the things that KO does for flawless runs, he actually allows you to explore the game without losing time. So as you can see in the top right, our pizza is currently not being eaten, and we get to spend some time seeing the projects that came before us. So this is Mini Godzilla. We have Project T-790. The robot had an insatiable wanderlust, particularly through time. Its displayed form remains uncertain, present, future, or past. Obviously a Terminator reference. And then we have Project Marvin B. No one managed to devise tests challenging enough for Marvin's intellect. The robot became depressed and asked to be turned off. Obviously from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Our final is Invisible Bob, who is definitely clearly there. Assessing his progress provided impossible for deservers. All testing tasks were executed invisibly. And then we'll go through, and then we'll just beat the level. And overall, you can see that's gonna add probably, you know, maybe a minute, you know. I said it took 5 seconds. That was excluding the beginning time, so it's probably going to add about 50 seconds to go through all that. And that's my incentive. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to show off a bit more of this game in a more fun way, and mention some of those references for movies that I know I enjoy, and I'm sure some people in the audience would. But thanks. All right, guys, that was a free YouTube clip, so that we did live on stream. Say hi, YouTube. Say hi, Games Committee. But, yeah, that was a fun stream. That was good. There we go. Hi, Games Committee. Hi, YouTube. Funny. And YouTube Daddy. Hi, Games Committee. Wow. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. All right. We didn't PB, but, you know, I think this is a good incentive. Wept, what do you think? You think this is a good incentive? Delia? I like it. Cool. I want to come up with more, but I definitely want to have at least one, you know? Let's see here. I'm going to be on Thursday. I'll let them come up with the pricing. Do I come up with the pricing? I don't know. We'll find out. But that's all I got. Let's raid over.